So for my next question, I'd just like to talk to you about, or for you to talk to me about being a lady.
Oh, I thought you could talk to me about being a lady in the industry.
I could.
We hear so much from male writers. No, it's funny, I'm joking. What aspects would you like to know about being a woman in the industry?
Well, do you experience any tension or sexism on set?
You will always experience unbiased sexism, I think, and that's just... I think that's actually just women in life, and men in life. This isn't just one way. But it is funny that when groups on like Facebook are asking for cinematographers or DOPs, if they say, oh, we want a woman DOP, guys freak out. There are so many comments going, that is sexist, that's rubbish, how dare you ask for a woman? And sometimes they need it because it's about, you know, a victim of sexual assault, or it's a tampon commercial, or it's something that, you know, a woman is going to be more comfortable filming. Sometimes it isn't, full regard. Sometimes women just say, oh, or not even women, sometimes people say, I just want a girl cinematographer because I think that they're different.
Do you think that's wrong?
I don't like this whole, oh, let's get a woman cinematographer because they'll be easier to talk to. I know guy DOPs who are fantastic communicators and brilliant, and I'd recommend like so much. I don't understand it really sometimes. But in terms of being a woman in this side of the industry, like, yeah, you are often the only girl on set in camera or in lighting. Lighting in particular, I think it's quite male dominated. Camera is getting better. It's getting better all across the board, which is good. And I'm seeing it with my female peers, which is really, really helpful. In Kazakhstan, when I was just a spark out there, I was on a friend's graduation film from film school. When you rent kit out there, they send people with you with the kit as an insurance policy. So these guys were like big, like Russian dudes who've been living in Kazakhstan for quite a while. And they wouldn't let any of us girls touch the kit. They wouldn't let us. They literally ripped lights out of my hand so I wouldn't touch them. And we all had to just be really stubborn and be like, no, we're paying for this. We're using the kit. I would be carrying lights way too big for me just to show them that I could. And that was definitely one of the worst times of sexism I've had on set. It's a mixed bag, but I do think it's getting better. And I think that, unfortunately, people are always going to have a bias about whether a woman or a guy on set is better. But I just think that at least we're being given the opportunities now. And at least there are more opportunities out there.
Okay, so Laura, what inspires you?
Other people's work. I am on Instagram a decent amount, and even though I'll follow, you know, very established DPs like Chivo and those guys, I'll actually look at a lot of people who are about maybe 2-3 years ahead of me in terms of their career, because it's slightly more realistic to what I can shoot for in the short game, but also they're just producing some of the best work. Like, I'm astounded by some of the stuff I'm seeing. Obviously, you know, films, books, art, paintings, gallery exhibitions, like, they're all important to go and try and get involved in as much as you can. I'm not great for paintings and stuff because I just don't think I'm just a bit like dense when it comes to that stuff. But photography is my thing. Photography is absolutely brilliant and key. But if I'm getting references together with a director, 95% of the time I'll be looking at other people's films and I'll be looking at other work. Mm-hmm. And just researching how they did that, figuring out what I liked, what I'd like to change. But the inspiration, it's everywhere. It's all over the place.
So you shoot on a Sony FS7.
I own a FS7, yes, and I'm shooting on it less and less these days, but I do shoot on one, and it's very helpful.
So that's obviously the kit that you have. Is
Yes.
that your preferred kit to work with, or do you prefer something else? Could you talk to me about that?
Depends on the shoot. So if I'm on a short film or if I'm on a music video, I mean, I love Arri's cameras. I love the Alexa Mini, I like the Mini LF, the Amira. They're stunning, and, you know, Reds are great, the Sony Venice is fantastic. And if you're on a short film, you kind of always want to shoot on those ones because you just get that dynamic range, you get the beautiful sensor. They're just stunningly built cameras. And the FS7 is wonderful, but it is not my go-to choice for those things. It's fine if there's no other option. I know I can still get good images out of it, and I know how it behaves. But I'll use the FS7 now for very low budget things where we want to put money into lighting instead of camera, maybe. So it completely depends on the shoot. You'll be using different kit all the time anyway. I've done however many short films now, and we actively, even though we had the choice of an Alexa Mini versus a Red, I think we chose the Red because we wanted the look that it was giving us. even with the same lenses side by side. We went the red is right for this shoot. So it completely depends.
Do you think choosing certain cameras for certain jobs is a big part of your expertise?
Huge part, but also I don't think it's not even necessarily part of expertise. I think it's just people's preferences. I think some people, it's almost, it seems to be pretty unanimous that people like Arri and that the cameras are great. But I know a lot of people who are like, the Venice is amazing, you should use that, or like Panasonic's. And it depends on what, if you need, say for example, you're shooting low light, you need dual ISO. The Alexa Mini is not really going to help you much there. You should probably get a camera that's more suited for it. So, and it's not just all about the camera, it's about the lighting, it's about the lenses. Actually, a cinematography tutor told me something really good. I'm going to steal this quote. He said, the lens tells the story, the camera writes it down. So I think that's a really good way of looking at it, is that, like I'm saying, just people nodding like, yeah. Terry Hopkins, thank you very much. You've got camera choices, lensing, lighting. It's so many choices that we have to make. But you're not necessarily doing that totally on your own. You're talking to budget reasons as well, sometimes limit things. But you're talking to your director and your camera team, and even things like on 1917, they wanted to shoot on the Mini LF and they had just been given that prototype. They had to strip down this massive rig to make it like actually operational in trenches and stuff. So you always have to try and tweak it to make it work for you, basically.
Are there certain aspects of being a DOP that you would like to learn? Like obviously working in the trenches, doing like massive one-take films is such a huge scale thing. Are there any particular film shooting styles that you would like to take on?
I mean, as a DP, again, I've not done any features yet, and I've not done any TV, and it would be great to see those large-scale productions and how they work. It'd be great to be even like a behind-the-scenes operator at this stage. I wouldn't be called in as a B-cam op because you need a lot of experience for that. But it'd be great to see, like how Game of Thrones was shot. They had like 6 cameras on there. I think they had at least 4 at one point. It'd be great to see how everything is coordinated and everyone is so disciplined. It's like an army routine when they're on there. So it would be great to see those things. I mean, I've got lots of commercial experience, but there's always something else. Everyone's doing new stuff all the time, and all we're doing is trying to figure out how they did it, mainly. So I think if you want to pigeonhole it into like TV and feature films and these big, huge things, I definitely would love to learn more about that stuff. But otherwise, no, I think you're going to learn from every single shoot, even if you've done 1,000,001 toothpaste commercials or something.
Have you ever trashed a piece of kit?
Have I ever broken a piece of kit? Oh, that is a good question. I've electrocuted myself with a light, but the light was fine. I was not.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that went well. Oh, God. I got electrocuted by a 650. Didn't feel good at all. I have dropped my camera once, and that is because...
Was that your FS7?
That is my FS7. All that broke, the meta bones just needed to be screwed back together. That was it. It was barely scratched. And I dropped it from a height of, maybe shoulder height on a tripod, and it fell onto just pavement. And that's because I was trying to release it, and in the middle of trying to release it off the VCT plate, my director went, oh, wait, hang on, which made me turn around, and then an unfortunate angle meant it dropped. Accidents happen, people drop kit. I've heard of people dropping entire rigs off things just by accident. So my FS7's absolutely fine now, basically. It's got the meta bones back on, it's completely working, there's no damage to it, and I've got insurance that covered it anyway, so always get insurance.
Always get insurance?
Yes. The insurance company's going to love me by this point. But other than, have I trashed anything else in particular? I feel like I must have done. When it comes to camera equipment or lighting.
I think you would have remembered if you had trashed anything.
Or have blocked it out. I don't want to have broken someone else's kit. No, I don't think I have yet, actually. Okay. I've seen it happen. I've seen people dropping cameras
I mean, there's so many videos on the internet of very expensive things just breaking due to very simple reasons. As you said, accidents happen all the time.
There is something I've trashed, but it's not a piece of kit. It's from my mum's house, unfortunately. And this was when we were filming at film school and we needed to film in an attic. My mum very kindly said, you can use your attic. And people were just being so bad. There was like marks on the walls and she just painted the house. So
people weren't being respectful of the environment.
People were being a bit clumsy. People were not being super respectful. We were all staying in the house as well. Yeah, it was not a good conversation. Never, ever, ever shoot in your own house if you have the option. Shoot anywhere else. And don't offer up your own house. And definitely don't offer up your mum's house. So I can tell you that was one of the worst experiences I had. You asked about best ones. The worst one was probably that, I'd say.
What did your mum have to say?
I mean, she was, furious and gave them all a really good dressing down. It's like, no one gets a dressing down like they would from an Irish mum. And these people are like, mid-20s, early 30s sometimes. And they're like school kids. And I was just going like, oh, God. So, yeah, small tip. Don't film in your own place.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. If you didn't know that already, don't do it.
They also say don't work with kids or animals.
I've worked with both at the same time.
Tell us about it.
Kids are normally not that bad, actually. Kids are fine, as long as you get a good one who isn't like a bit of a brat. And as long as their parent is good. If their parent is good, you will have a much easier day. And if your crew is quite, kid-friendly, then that's fine. Animals? Oh, I can tell you one. I was focus pulling on a Mulberry commercial with Ben Marshall, who's a brilliant DOP, who kind of got me my start in the industry. He was the first person to hire me onto a commercial and then kind of hired me back ever since. So I owe Ben a lot. But we were on this Mulberry commercial, and it was a collaboration with a dog clothing company. And these dogs were all rescue dogs. And what we had to do was put a bunch of lights on them and a fan and shoot them in slow motion, being dog-like. And the smells and the saliva and the everything. I love dogs too, but my goodness, some of these dogs were creating smells that the human nose should never have to experience. It was horrific.
When you go to these sets, it's obviously a good way to make contacts as well, because that's a massive part of the industry too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Weirdly, and this is actually quite a good story, is how I got onto my first commercial, onto my first paid film role. I was working as a DIT on a promo shoot at the Tate. And of all the people there, I was, being as helpful as I could. And it wasn't my job to help carry tripods. It wasn't my job to help carry things. I was supposed to be there backing up footage. But I was like, well, why wouldn't I help you, It's just you guys. There's only like 3 or 4 people. Of course I'm going to try and help you. Of course I'm going to try and run batteries. Just try and make yourself invaluable. And what I thought was, I might get a call back from the producer or this guy. I got a call back from someone I really didn't think was watching me. And I didn't think that they thought I was any good either. I actually thought that, I really messed up in front of that person. And that was Ben Marshall, who is the brilliant DOP. He shoots a lot for Burberry and Mulberry, very talented guy. And he was like, come on to this commercial with me. And I was so amazed. And he kept calling me back. And then a few of his assistants, they've called me back as well. And now he actually just, if he can't do the job, he'll give me the job instead. Or he'll recommend me for jobs, that kind of stuff. So you will get supportive people who do start caring about you a lot in the industry. And you'll get everyone, I just think everyone try and look out for your friends, because they will repay the favour. If I can't do a job, I immediately check if my friends can do it. And then I'll say, look, you just try and recommend the best people in there as possible.
I really like your work. I've seen your
Thank
show reel. I
you.
think the stuff that you've done is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I also think the way that you've come across these 2 videos has been really good, and I think really insightful for anyone looking to get into this line of work. I'm going to leave it there now.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hope to work with you again soon and see more of what you're going to be doing in the future. And that'll be it today. Thank you for watching.